A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic all-night session, U.S. senators have engaged in heated debates over President Donald Trump's ambitious and contentious spending bill, dubbed the Big, Beautiful Bill. This 940-page proposal aims to implement significant parts of Trump's domestic agenda, yet it simultaneously proposes drastic cuts to social welfare programs that could leave millions without essential services. As the clock ticks down to the July 4th deadline, the stakes have never been higher. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, has issued alarming forecasts, indicating that if passed, the bill could increase the national debt by an astounding $3.3 trillion over the next decade and leave an estimated 11.8 million Americans without health coverage by 2034. The Senate's all-night debate showcased a deep divide among Republican lawmakers, as some expressed concern over the bill's implications for low-income Americans, particularly regarding Medicaid cuts. Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina, who voted against the bill, has announced that he will not seek re-election, a decision seemingly influenced by Trump's threat to back a primary challenger in retaliation for his dissent. Trump has been actively rallying support for the bill, making phone calls to wavering senators and even sending Vice President J.D. Vance to bolster the Republican ranks. The president has emphasized the importance of passing the bill, framing it as a crucial step in fulfilling his campaign promises. However, the bill has faced substantial pushback from Democrats and some Republicans, who argue that it disproportionately benefits the wealthy while undermining vital social safety nets. Democratic leaders have accused their Republican counterparts of rushing the legislative process, with Minority Leader Chuck Schumer criticizing the lack of transparency surrounding the bill's provisions. Schumer has vowed to continue highlighting the bill's potential consequences, calling it a reckless move that jeopardizes the health and well-being of millions of Americans. The proposed legislation includes approximately $4 trillion in tax cuts, making permanent the tax rates established in Trump's 2017 tax reform. It also introduces new tax incentives, such as eliminating taxes on tips. However, it is the cuts to social programs that have drawn the fiercest criticism. The bill proposes $1.2 trillion in cuts to Medicaid and food stamps, which would impose stricter work requirements and eligibility criteria, further marginalizing vulnerable populations. Furthermore, the bill allocates $350 billion for border and national security initiatives, including funding for deportations and construction of new immigration detention facilities, a move that has raised concerns among immigrant advocacy groups. Critics argue that the bill's focus on military spending and border security comes at the expense of addressing pressing social needs, such as health care and education. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders has labeled the bill as the most dangerous piece of legislation in the modern history of our country, arguing that it prioritizes military funding over the welfare of American families. Sanders highlighted the irony of a government that claims to lack funds for essential services while simultaneously increasing military expenditures. As the Senate prepares for a vote-a-rama session to consider amendments to the bill, the outcome remains uncertain. Lawmakers are eager to finalize the legislation by Monday, but the path ahead is fraught with challenges. If the Senate manages to pass the bill, it will return to the House for further consideration, where Republican leaders are under pressure to secure enough votes amidst growing dissent within their ranks. In light of the contentious debates and potential ramifications of the bill, the American public is left to grapple with the implications of such sweeping changes to social welfare and tax policy. As the political landscape continues to evolve, the fate of Trump's spending bill will undoubtedly shape the trajectory of the 2026 midterm elections and beyond. With both parties entrenched in their positions, the coming days will be critical in determining whether this big, beautiful bill becomes a reality or a political casualty. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.